Happy Tuesday, people. Welcome to the Kris and Gina Relationship Show. I am Kris the Critic, and this lovely lady to my left, your right, the one, the only Gina B in the place to be. How are you, Gina B?
Good. How are you?
I am wonderful. Happy to be back doing the show with you. I'm happy the weather's nice. We're going to get into the show, people. Tonight's show.
How was my birthday?
I want to wait about the show. It was Gina B's birthday. I'm just going to ask about the birthday real quick.
Chris forgot all of my festivities.
It's a long story, but Gina B knows I love her from the bottom of my heart. I had a lot going. How was your birthday? It was good.
It was good. I did karaoke the night before. Basically, me inviting a bunch of singers out to sing to me on my birthday.
And that's another thing. How do you have karaoke and invite people who can actually sing?
That was the whole point.
Karaoke is supposed to be for horrible people like myself.
No. It was for. I had some really great professional singers there, so it was amazing. And then the next day, which was my actual birthday, you know what I did? I spent my day. I got stitches taken out of my hand, so that was not fun.
Gina B fights a lot, and she had stitches in her hand.
I had stitches in my hand. I got the stitches taken out.
Right.
And then I worked both jobs, meaning I worked at work, my corporate job, and then the bar.
By the way, for anyone who doesn't know, who might be watching this show for the first time, and you're visiting in Chicago, Gina B and her husband, Lee, own an awesome restaurant. They play vinyl music. It sells wax, vinyl, and ramen, right?
Max Vinyl Bar and Ramen Shop.
There you go. Live DJ all the time. It is exquisite. 1549
West Chicago.
West Chicago. You know, I knew that by heart. It's an awesome place.
Yeah.
So if you're in Chicago, you must go by there.
And I'm there. Way more than I should.
So look, we got a lot. So we're gonna skip the pleasantries just to let you guys know. It is
what day is it?
I didn't even know what day it is. I got my notes on the wrong show. It's actually it's day 245 out of 365. First of all, we got 120 days left in here. It's going by fast. Cuffing season is around the corner. The title of today's show: Platonic Friendships of the Opposite Sex While Dating or Married. And how do you navigate it? The do's, the don'ts, the shoulds, the shouldn'ts. You know, does she have a male friend that she's had forever who just happens to be tall, dark, and handsome and has a reputation for laying it down like no other? Fellas, are you good with that friendship continuing if you're dating this woman?
For that?
Or, ladies, this guy's been a babe slayer since, forever, and he wants to keep those friends around. What are the rules of engagement? Everybody wants to think that they're secure in their relationship. We're going to talk about the do's and don'ts. If you have any questions, please let us know. It's national. Gina B likes to know what national day is.
This is my favorite part.
It's really nothing that's national that's good today because the things I'm about to say are weird. It's National Blueberry Popsicle Day. I didn't even know, and I'm a popsicle-aholic, a freeze pop-aholic. I didn't even know a blueberry one existed.
I'm going to give that a no.
There you go. It's National Another Look Unlimited Day.
What is that?
It means absolutely nothing. It's one day after Labor Day that it gives you time to get your, put away your summer stuff, that sort of thing.
Sickle Cell Awareness Month.
We got you. The producer let us know it is Sickle Cell Awareness Month. Now that is something that is worth something noting. I think I have the recessive sickle cell something.
I do not.
Lastly, it's National VJ. Not to be included, not to be confused.
Not VJJ.
Not VJJ or not National BJ. It's National VJ Day, and that is when Japan surrendered to the U.S. in 1945. And I think it's safe to say that Japan has basically said we're going to own the world, and they do. Now, we have a guest. We actually got a licensed psychotherapist. Khalid Scott is going to be here momentarily. But first, we're going to set... It's a funny video that can show you how platonic friends could end up. So, Ron, could you run the video?
It's a day in the life of platonic besties. First thing we do is wake up from our sleepover.
Then we pick out each other's outfits. We're twinning.
Then we go for a walk and I see a really scary guy, so I protect Chloe. I love making her feel safe.
Then we go out to lunch and Tyler pours my water for me. So I give him a bite of my burrito. He's so messy.
Then Chloe talks me into going to Petco. She wants one of the cute dogs. I tell her no, we are not getting one.
At 2 o'clock, Tyler caved. We got a dog. His name is Cornelius.
Adopting a dog together is a testament to how good our friendship is.
At 3 o'clock, our significant others call us. But bestie time is so important, even in a relationship.
Being the good friend that I am, I give Chloe her daily mammogram.
Then I give Tyler his cancer screening. All good.
Then it's time to get ready for bed, so I shower while Chloe brushes her teeth. But then I think she might need to shower too, so she hops in as well to save water.
Then we decide it's best to move in together since now we have a dog. And that's our day. Go best friends! No, babe, he's just my friend. I told you.
That's so silly.
Now,
That is so silly.
but if you read the comments to that,
I know, it's so funny.
people are like, hey, that hit a little close to home. But without further ado, we're going to get into what you came for. Platonic friendships of the opposite sex while dating and married. Please, everybody, let's bring it in for Kris Scott, LCSW psychotherapist,
LMNOP.
LMNOP.
Q.
But he's no stranger to our show. Brother Scott, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, and you know you set a tone, so that's not fair. You know that, but that's okay. We're gonna get the truth today.
But let's also seriously though. When we bring you on here, at first we're thankful that you make time for us.
We are.
We bring him on when I know absolutely nothing about the subject but my opinion, and I would be fair to say this is something that I think everybody has touched, felt, or thought of, had a situation where it meant something. So first, Brother Scott, can you let everyone know what qualifications you have before Gina B starts peppering you with questions?
Absolutely. Well, August made 32 years as a licensed clinical social worker and mental health professional.
That's awesome.
Oh, and in between, domestic violence counselor, drug and alcohol counselor. I work with the homeless population, Jaredall, foster care, mental health, mentorship, and everything that's under the social work umbrella.
Got it. And if, folks, he does this for a living. So if you like what he says, if he's taking on new clients, how can folks reach you?
Absolutely. You can call me directly at 312-43-SCOTT, 312-437-2688. You can get a hold of me on www.psychologytoday.com under my name. And then the website for my private practice is www.internationalhighachiever.net.
That's hot.
That's a lot.
That's hot, though.
It's a lot of ways. You got it covered.
And while we have folks who do tune in later, if you have a question and you're not watching live, Gina B and I do go back, check it out. I know Brother Scott will come on to check it out. But I want to say congratulations are in order. So you have a future doctor in your family. So I want to say congratulations to your beautiful daughter, part of the future physicians from the esteemed University of Chicago Med School. So I know you are beyond proud. So again, publicly I say congratulations, awesome job to you and her mom.
Absolutely, and thank you for that.
All right, Gina B.
All right, let's get into
what we got. What we got?
All right. Now, first we like to set foundations in here. So one of the foundational questions is, we can all talk about this. What defines a platonic friendship?
Yes. So what describes a platonic friendship is where there is no romantic feelings amongst the two parties. None at all. They absolutely see each other as almost like brother and sister.
Now, does this mean that there has never been romantic involvement?
Good question.
Right. That's a great question. It could have been on the onset, but then the friendship grew and they both understood that it's better to have you as my friend than have you as my lover. And it's been established that, hey, on both parties, it's well understood, you are my sister, you are my brother, and I love you as such.
So, do you have a different?
No,
okay.
I think that sounds platonic to me.
Yeah, and so, okay, do we all have platonic friendships of the opposite sex? Because I know I have a lot.
Yes.
Well, Yes.
A lot.
Gina B, I don't know if you were privy. The way this was actually the reason this show is here because he put up a very thought-provoking
I
social
saw the
media
post, yes.
and the post was basically saying, if you paraphrase it, something to the effect of, correct me if I'm wrong, Brother Scott, is it okay to have platonic friendships of the opposite sex? You know, is it something about is it okay with your partner? And I made not a big deal, but it was a good conversation because I look at dating different than marriage, and the word said partner. So, but what he was saying was true. I mean, and I'll get to the end of it. He's basically saying if there's insecurity, you know, on either one of the sides, or somebody has an issue with you, that's the real problem, and that's true. But I look at it as the situation where you looked at somebody you used to deal with. Now, I have when I was single and dated women, and then I want him to jump in, and I want to know how because he sees marriages, he sees divorce. When I was single, I always thought, hey, unless I put a ring on that person's finger, I can't mandate who she's friends with, especially if they existed already. And nor did I accept it as well, and that was no. I am in a, you know, I sort of knew my current spouse. We sort of knew what was going on. We were counseling. We level set everything up front. But I'm imagining that doesn't happen all the time with people. So what happens in those cases, Brother Scott? And is it? I don't think it's like if hypothetically, if I was married to Gina, if I married Gina and Gina's still hanging with some dude she used to deal with, I don't know how comfortable I'd be. What about you?
I mean, it depends on.
I know it depends. I don't know.
Okay, it depends on when it was.
That's
if
true.
it was 20 years ago,
right?
But if it was 5 minutes ago, then absolutely not. Like if it was right before we started dealing, like 2 months ago, y'all were hooking up, and then all of a sudden now that's your friend. No, that's there needs to be some time.
What do you see in your practice? I mean, don't mention anybody's names, but I'm sure this has come up before.
Right. And so let me do the exact quote. Anyone severing ties with opposite sex friends solely due to their partner's insecurity is committing a mistake. Right.
All right. I see why you. I see that now. So he's saying the solely is very important.
Right.
Very important.
It's based on the insecurity, because remember, insecurity is like COVID. COVID is the actual sickness. A symptom may be night sweating, right? Cure the night sweating, but you still have COVID.
Got it.
For the chills, you still have COVID. The insecurity is the sickness.
Got it.
That's what you have to address.
Right?
Now, do men and women, different genders, view platonic friendships differently in your view?
It depends on people's agendas.
Okay.
So what happens is, and it's also based on your aura. So some men have the aura whether they are around their female friends or women they used to date or whatever, it's kind of a sexual undertone. And folks understand that, right?
Right.
Folks like me, I always show up as your big brother. So you know what the agenda is.
Right.
So knowing which agenda you're faced with, then you know how to move forward.
Yeah.
If there is any sexual attraction, it may not work. It won't work. It has to be strictly, you are my sister. Literally, I think you came out of my mom's body and we was just separated at birth.
Right.
That's the kind of friendship, platonic, that I'm talking about.
Right.
And Kris, to answer your question, what happens is I haven't really ran across that. And I did the marriage therapies because it's a given. Husband cheated, wife cheated. So we're going to address.
Got it.
Securities come from you stepped out on me and I found out because you were sloppy enough to get caught.
Yep.
So now, as far as like from a boundary perspective is concerned, what if you're going to have platonic friends of the opposite sex? Because I have great ones. Kris and I are platonic friends, right? And And while I am also friends with his spouse, I see Kris more. I talk to Kris more. I love talking to his wife, but we see each other more frequently because we do the show together, but we're platonic friends. So what kind of boundaries does one establish? Because it's, I'll tell you my quick story and you tell me how you feel about how it was handled. When I met my now husband, I told him at the very onset of even before we were really seriously dating, I was like, look, I've got a lot of platonic male friends. And I've got a couple that call me late at night because that's just the schedule that we are on, right? Like one of them was a professional chef. He gets out late. He just calls to say hi. One was, whatever. So I was like, I want you to meet him. And I want you to be comfortable with him because, I'm not getting rid of him. And he was like, cool. And he met them. And now they probably call him more than they call me.
Well, that was my whole, when we started this, my thing is, and I don't know the professional diagnosis, but I agree. And, when I saw the post, I said, well, any friend, I made a differentiation between dating and marriage.
Right.
Dating is dating. I do think some boundaries should be still respected if you're in a monogamous relationship and you hope to move forward. But in a marriage, I said, if it's my friend or her friend, it's our friend.
Right.
Yeah. But some people don't just subscribe to that.
No, some people
people said, hey, I got my friend, she's got her friends.
And
I can't tell anybody what doesn't work in their marriage. But I would say that, why would you want a friend who's not friends with your spouse? Well, I'll always bounce back and ask that.
I mean, sometimes you have things that you relate to about your friends that your spouse doesn't get. But I'll tell you the thing that's also with us, I don't have secret conversations with my friends either.
But that's what I'm saying.
Like if he's sitting there, I'll be like, hey, Mark, what's up?
Right.
And we'll talk for 10. I mean, like he is comfortable with the flow of our car.
Correct.
He knows what's going on. Like there's no, like, let me take this in the other room. There is no secrecy.
Again, you announced this is your friend. Now the friend is friends with him,
Right. And they'll be like, what's up, man?
And I'm okay with that too. Right.
And they also, but my friends also, I'll tell you what, and being a woman and having a lot of male friends, I had to obey this as well. My male friends, they don't call me late at night like they used to anymore.
Right.
They are very respectful of him.
And respectful people figure it out. My female friends that I have, they do the same thing.
Yeah.
And they,
you see them out, I hug the wife first always. But it's my male friend.
But I'd be lying if I say we both, and even people I know have come across, while you and your spouse may be on the same page, outside forces are outside forces, and they're always looking to cause drama.
I mean, you can let them.
Well, I'm just saying.
If they try that, they get booted.
There you go. That's all I was getting at. You said it real succinctly.
That's what happens. I mean, because my husband has had a couple of people that have been like a little disrespectful, and they've had to go.
Let me ask a question in terms of dating for our single folks who might want to be paired up with somebody long term. I don't know, but I'm gonna say, what should be the if two people are dating, right, and they don't know where it's going to go, they like each other, but they said we're going to be monogamous. In your opinion, should they then, disclose any past people that they may be friends with? Like, what's recommended? I just think
like you mean if they've hooked up in the past?
Yeah, I think some people operate in a blind space that they're uncomfortable with, and then all of a sudden they might blow up, and the person might say, "Well, you didn't ask." I don't know what's the expectation for, especially in 2025 when it seems like people can meet 5 people online and like that.
Right, in 2 seconds. Producer, we're not seeing our comments, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
But what's the etiquette with dating? Do you think?
No, go up top. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, so let me just be very clear and very frank. In this day and age, because we're so used to toxicity and we're so used to dysfunction in relationships, either in the beginning, middle, or the end, why not start off on clean slates and being very, transparent, right? So I remember my lady friend, we've been together 4 years. On the first conversation that we had, we did the total truth of everything because I wanted to know and she wanted to know in the beginning what are the pros and cons of being with you? So then I have options on the first moment I meet you. And if I don't like, the presentation that you just gave me, I have the choice to walk. So, and the thing is, in this day and age, we can find out everything about you.
Pretty much.
Everything about you. So why not be forthcoming in the beginning? So if I'm dating someone, I will tell them I have about 5 sister friends. And let me explain what I mean by that. I have never laid down with these women, never thought about laying down with them. And when I got divorced and I thought Black women hated me, because I took it as, man, if my wife hates me, every Black woman hates me. Those women uplifted me. So if you have an issue about me having sisters, and that's who they are to me, then you got to walk away from me.
Yeah.
Now, the moment I make you insecure with my actions, meaning you seeing text messages and nude pictures and disrespectful conversations, walk away from me. But if I'm telling you that these women are family and take it to the next level where I'm introducing you, because as their big brother, they want me to be happy. So they want me to be in love, and they probably will become your best friends, which is the case. So those are the specifics that I mean, not the sneaky links and all of that people usually get when they hear a friendship of the opposite sex, being in place.
Right. That makes all the sense.
Yep.
I mean, now what are the warning signs? Okay, you gave a few, nudes, etc., that a platonic friendship is a little off the rails.
Right.
Well, it's when that friend is being disrespectful. So yes, when I was a single guy and you called me at 10:30 because your dude was hurt your feelings, you had access to me at 10:30, 11:30, 2:30 in the morning. But if I'm telling you, hey, my lady friend is going to be over on the weekend, the phone calls stop at 8:30, 9 o'clock. And I've never had anyone disrespect and dishonor that. Because again, if they're your true friend, they want you to be in your joy and your happiness.
Exactly.
That's an awesome point. And I don't, not trashing any of our friends, but I think all of us have seen that everybody doesn't always have your best interest.
They don't. And they're not happy when you're happy, and they try to undermine your happiness.
Even if they don't know it. I've seen.
Yeah, they try it. They want to jockey for position.
Yeah.
Which is something that I've never done with any of my male friends. If any of my male friends who are single find a woman that they are excited about, I'm probably more excited than they are about it.
Right.
I'm like, please don't break up with my friend.
And Gina and Kris, I want to ask you all a question. I want you all to take a moment, and I want you to list the top 2 things of having a good platonic opposite sex friend has brought to your life. The top 2 things.
Top 2. There's so many. How do I pick 2?
That you cherish about your platonic friendship with somebody of the opposite sex.
For me, perspective.
Yes. Number 1.
Yeah.
Can you explain that to the audience?
I sure can. So without having male friends gave me a lot of perspective while I was dating. And it enabled me to sidestep a lot of bullshit that I could have stepped right in. And it also gave me empathy to, to what men are going through and how I might be additive to their lives. Right. So the perspective part has been really everything to me.
Correct. That's why you're my valedictorian. See there? You got it right there.
Smart self. For me, though, the few that I've had, it's more, and I haven't picked up any new, really female friends other than meeting you. But pretty much it's bouncing. Do I make sense? I use them as a sounding board. If I said this to you, would you be mad? Is this a good gift? What can I get? Because sometimes, admittedly, I've been, you know me, I've been trying to be more retrospective. I can come off as pretty polarizing,
Not you.
A little bit. So I like to bounce it off somebody who is of the opposite sex, because your boys,
You're like, am I crazy?
they'll always tell you you're right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if anybody always telling you you're right, you're like, all right, man, I
you
appreciate
don't want
it.
to be in an echo chamber.
Yeah,
that's not helpful.
Society accuses women of doing that, but it happens on the guy's side too.
It does.
Oh,
you know my number 2 though is, which is I think almost is really close second to perspective.
What's that?
Is setting the bar. So my male friends treated me so well that, like, you know, if I was out with them, they were always, you know, like looking out for me, making sure I was good, and with no romantic intentions whatsoever. If any man treated me worse than my male friends, that was a no. Like, I needed to have been treated about as well as my male friends were going to treat me. Like, I remember one night I went on a date with this guy.
Who was it?
I'm not telling
She never tells anything. I mean, one day she's going to flip.
I can't call this one out.
And I know everybody in this city, and I get no dirt on her.
This didn't go well. So I went out with this guy, and before I could even get, like, my left butt cheek into the seat, he was like, I think he was uncomfortable with it. Maybe it was an expensive place. So he's like, how about this? How about you get the first, I'll get the first round and you get the second round. Like, he's already giving me parameters as to how the date's getting paid for. And I was like, okay. So I made sure that we had 2 rounds to make it even.
He didn't know you were
Then
balling.
I got out of there and I called my boy and I was like, can you believe this? He goes, come here, I'll buy you drinks all night. Like, it's all good. And so it was, you know, like my boys would always make sure I was good. And if a man's going to treat me worse than that, then why? I have a great social life and I have male friends who are going to treat me very well.
Yeah, I'm not going to buy you drinks all night.
I wouldn't really require it.
I'm going to tell.
The fact that they wanted
I'm going to tell you to tell that guy, like, give me a drink.
The fact that they wanted to, and somebody that claimed to have romantic interest in me was like that.
Right.
I mean, not that was, because I did not know the man that I married. I did not let him buy me drinks for a long time. But the fact that you're just going to lay out those parameters, that does not bode well.
Right.
Wow.
So what's your number 2, Kris?
Let me see. My number 1 was to bounce things off if I were doing wrong. My number 2 was I'm big on what I've noticed, and I don't even think it's a bad thing. I think when men, in my experience, my lived experience, men have typically been more direct, and sometimes women are more feeling, and it is asking, does this mean that? Because for me, it was hard for me to adjust how someone else respond or feels. Basically, be more sensitive to feeling versus words. And while I do think, and I caution people that even men, women, our feelings can sometimes lie, they are valid and should be paid attention to if you care for someone. And for me, and the few women that I do call friend, they'll be honest. Yeah, that would hurt me a little bit too, if you ignored this or if you responded the way you did. So it is probably being more in touch with what I call the more nurturing side of me. That it's for whatever reason, it's easier for me to see in my daughters than it was for women I date. And I had to remember, like, okay, they're similar. They're just big, grown, smarter versions of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's the biggest thing, and it's helped. I will say that. But you do have to, I do caution, I always say, don't just say what you want me to say because we're friends. Because your friends do tend to take your side. You know.
Your friends love you. They want you to be, good. But, okay, I would also like to, Khalid, with your permission, since you are the...
Hey, you're seeing comments. I'm not. Where are you at?
Yeah, I'm seeing comments. This is why I'm surprised that I don't see it. But I'm not. I'm in my own...
Oh, well, you read the comments.
I will in a second. I'm on Kris Gina. So, I think that there are also things that I provide in a platonic friendship that I feel are important to my male friends.
Yeah.
And, perspective, okay, being right up there. And, a lot of support, because, especially to my black male friends, because a lot of them, they can feel a little beat down. And I'm always there to give them a little bit of uplifting. Like, okay, yeah, like, I'm not your woman, but, like, you are a great friend, and you are, you know what I mean? And they need to hear that from a woman sometimes that's not invested in this, someone that's not their boy. someone that's not their mother. You know what I mean? They need to like kind of hear like, okay, I could see where, you know, you'd be good at X, Y, or Z. And I think that's a good, that's a service that I like to provide to my male friends.
And you are actually, I will say, you know, I will say on camera, she's actually pretty good at that.
I try. I mean, everyone's got to provide something.
You're kind of like a guy.
Well, I do have a lot of male friends, and my mother made me play with boys when I was a kid because she was. Well, this is where this started. My mother was really good friends with this woman when I was in grammar school, and she had a son, and I was obviously, and the son was a couple years older, and she forced me to play with him, and I had no interest in doing this as a child. Hilarious. But then we got to be very good friends, and so that's how this whole thing. That's how I ended up like working into this ability to have great male friends. It started when I was little, as everything does. Starts in childhood, right? It all stems from there. So now we talked about some of these things. Now, Clint, from your perspective as a therapist, in your practice, what do you see most often when couples struggle with this issue?
Well, like I said before, I've never seen an issue regarding friendships. Never.
It's insecurity.
It's insecurity, right? And so, go ahead, Chris.
No. I want you to finish the thought first. I want to make sure I have all the info before I pose the question. It was nothing earth-shattering.
Okay. So what happens is, for instance, I have a wife whose husband has stepped out on her. And like I said earlier, he was sloppy enough to let her find out. But her thing was, I'm married to him. For better or worse, richer or poorer, I'm going to stay. But now the rebuilding of the trust is the hard work, right?
Yep.
And so what happens is when I first get couples, the wife usually calls me, right? And she gives me the laundry list of what the husband has done wrong, right? And so what happens is I throw the mirror right back at her. I tell her, one, I need to talk to your husband before I take you all as a couple because I want to hear his perspective. Two, I want to make sure he's not being emotionally kidnapped to participate in the therapy. And then number three, I need you to understand what you have done wrong in this marriage. And so I get the, what you mean? What I did? I got you.
I was about to say, how does that go?
Explain. You forgave him. You forgave him. But you forgave him with consequences, right? Second of all, some men, once you forgive us for our indiscretion, what you have done is signed the permission slip for me to cheat on you again.
Absolutely.
Because what happens is I'll start being more mindful to delete pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be mindful to delete.
Look at him advertising for his fraternity, by the way.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
I see 06.
Like,
I see 06 in the building.
Right.
I see 06 in the building. The Nukes got love for him. The Nukes got love for him.
Right. And so what happens is the wives are taken back because no one has said that to them because they've made them the victim. And see, in therapy, it cannot be no villains or victims. You have to be people who just had missteps and now you want to get back on track. So we're going to start off on positivity.
Yeah.
Going back to, like, I'll use me as the example, having female friends. I have just as many female friends as I have male friends. What females have taught me is how to be really emotionally intelligent. And that's what I heard from both of you all with your responses, that you hear both sides of on the track, and then it helps you to be more open-minded. And we all have to work on emotional intelligence, meaning 50% emotional, 50% logic, and we marry the two when it's necessary. And how can you lose with that? How can you lose? And if I'm with you and I'm worried because your best male friend is 6'5", that's about me. It's not about you.
Right, that's fair.
Absolutely.
Well, we can talk about situations where these things have gone wrong.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, because women also cheat in 2025.
They do, but
and it's not that men are sloppy. It's that men never want to be men never want to be number one. Because a man who's messing around with, let's say I was messing with a married woman. I don't want to pay her bills. I just want to hit.
Right.
Women, on the other hand, they're going to show up because they want that spot. Let's keep it a buck. Men get caught because women trick. Women are sneakier because men stay silent. I got to keep it a buck.
Well, Kris, understand this. You got to remember, men do something very powerful. It's called pillow talk. If Gina is my wife and I want to mess with someone else, I'm going to tell her what all Gina is doing wrong.
Right. Oh, I'll be there for you, baby.
All right. Absolutely. But the whole point of getting caught is because a woman will show up. Girl, I don't know if you want to hear this, but I've been messing with your men. Men are less likely to do that.
Right. Well, but what I mean by sloppy is, if you're my mistress, you will never know my wife's cell phone. Not for
me. Yeah, man, we're dumb. Well, absolutely. 1,000%.
Never. And you just.
But we've always been dumb.
But you also.
I know a lot of ladies like, we've always been dumb.
It's not funny because there's, every good lie has an element of truth, right? So, I've dated guys where they have these friends. Like one specifically had this friend, and I could, for some reason, never meet her. And she was never around.
What does she look like?
When I was around. I could never, for some reason, where is she? I don't know. And then one day, I found, let's just say, video evidence that maybe they weren't just friends.
You found?
Yes.
Just found. It was just sitting there.
Found it.
Just found it.
Found it.
Absolutely.
If we want to be really specific,
I make no mistake. Women,
my cat found it.
Most women could be private investigators.
My cat found it.
Make no mistake.
My cat was holding me down. My cat found it. So yeah, but it was like, oh, well, just friends, huh? So do you often have pictures of your friends' asses on your phone? Like, is this normal?
Yeah.
So no, it's not.
Let me address this with you. So let's play pretend moment.
Okay.
So, Kris, imagine your wife telling you tonight, after tonight, you can no longer be friends with Gina. Tell me what your initial response would be.
I'd say, let's talk about it. There's something happened that I don't know about. But, I've learned, but that's a learned behavior, right? Old me would have said, what you talking about? But no. But I admittedly was probably more of a bully. I'm still slightly trying to work on my bulliness. But I would be, if something happened I need to know about, because it's possible, right? Something could have. Let me address it. What I have seen is, and this is my lived experience, even outside of my wife, even before this, I've probably had, even when nothing was going on with either person, more issues by discounting someone else's feelings. So I'm trying, you know what I'm saying? Especially
look at his face. He's confused. Go ahead, expand on that.
Oh, meaning if someone brought an issue to me, and let's say nothing was going on, I would dismiss it. I wouldn't even give it the time of day.
Okay.
And that's not right. Right? My ego's not, well, it was that big, but, I'm human. Life humbles you. You know what I'm saying? Life humbles the shit out of you. But I'm more in tune now to say, what happened? Let's talk about it. And then if generally I'll say, so if you're saying is, I'll restate. And then I'll say, well, here's my reply. If there's something to be said, if there's a reason, and, if Gina behaved inappropriately, let me talk to her about it. You know what I'm saying? But that's a long way for me. And a little therapy, right? I think.
Kris, how would you feel? Not your response. How would you feel? What would be the first feeling? And then Gina, you answer the question next. If your husband told you you can never talk to Kris after tonight, what is the initial feeling?
Oh, my feeling would be I don't want to agree with it. That would be my feeling. Right? But
the feeling, give me the adjective.
Are you angry? Are you upset?
I don't really get angry. I would be disagreeable. Okay. I'd be, selfish. But I don't really get angry. I'll either agree or disagree. That's just me. But that could be just as bad because, again, sometimes people want you to feel a certain way, And if you look too damn calm and like, no, I hear what you're saying, but fuck no, that ain't happening. That ain't good either. You know what I'm saying? So I try to, and my dad just says, you got to empathize with someone else. I was a kid one time and a real fat man got splashed and it was raining, slipped and fell. I was like 4. I don't know why this, and I was laughing. He pulls the car over, give me this whole long story about how that man, you know, probably isn't happy like being there. You know what the man has gone through. You don't know why he's been like that. You know, he's out here walking in the rain. And I feel bad, right? So I now, if someone expresses enough hurt towards me, whether they're right or wrong, crazy or not, I put myself into their shoes for a minute. Correct. But that is a learned behavior from having someone I trust, you know, give me that advice.
Right. So your emotional intelligence kicks in.
It grew a little bit, but I got ways to go.
Right. I'm your husband, Gina. I don't want you with him ever again.
Well, I would be kind of hurt because, first of all, something drove him there.
Yes.
And what is that, right? Like, and obviously he would, if you knew my husband, you'd know that would be a far, like he would not, that's not his jam. So that would mean that there was something really like extreme that he was feeling about that. And so then I would wonder, like, well, what have I done to contribute to you feeling that way? Like, what is it about this friendship that's problematic? Because I know I've done nothing wrong. Like, so let's get to the bottom of it. Like, why?
You thought that was Chris Levy? No, that was Chris Johnson. I was playing.
Wrong Chris, dude. No, but I mean, but really, I would be really put off and hurt by that.
So the reason why I asked you to that is that's what the therapy is about. I want you to address the immediate feeling. And then whatever that feeling is, let's work backwards.
That's a gem right there.
So
that was a gem.
You both went into explanation mode, fix mode, why mode. But it's hard for us sometimes to be in the moment of how did it make me feel?
Yeah.
If this person meant a lot to me, like I think you two mean to each other, sweetheart, first of all, whoa, feel kind of disrespected.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on your tone. Number 2, you know what this person means to me. This person was at our wedding. This person was at our baby shower. This person was ... This person helped change tires before you came around, you know? So let me deal with the feeling first. Breathe, count to 10. Babe, can you explain to me what happened? Well, I see how he looks at you and he gazes at you when y'all doing those interviews, and I just don't like it. Then, babe, you know what? I have men looking at me all day long. I would have to leave the planet. Understand that Kris loves you.
Right.
Kris can dishonor you, husband. And if we got to have a joint discussion, let's do it. Because I don't want you to feel a certain way, and I for sure don't want to feel a way because I'll end up resenting you.
Right.
Man, I bet couples love you. And they have been like, can we take this dude home and just keep him in another room and pay for him to live?
Right, come here.
Let's solve this shit.
Referee
this motherfucker here crazy again. Get this Negro. Man, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have a calm ass voice like that one day. I'm working on it. Right now,
Absolutely.
I'm petty.
Because remember what friendships do. Friendships are the siblings that we choose.
Yes.
Siblings are the ones we're born with. Friendships are the siblings that we choose. And if I choose you to be in my family, I love you. I need you. You're part of me. So I can't have somebody dictate who goes in and out my village unless they mean me harm. Because I wouldn't do it to you.
Great segue. Another question.
Yes.
So you deal with a lot of divorces, and as I understand it, and people have a lot of infidelity. A lot of times it's with coworkers. Let's hypothetically say, people you're around a lot. That's why people in factories sometimes have a higher divorce rate because they got different shifts. You know, you see Jim. You know, but if a woman or a man, if one of the two wants to just express concern, I've noticed that in 2025, whether married or single, a lot of people don't want to be asked anything. How do you respectfully go to your husband and say, I want to feel comfortable or something without sounding accusatory to him or her.
Right. Well, so the foundation is you suspect something, right?
Or you haven't seen anything. You just didn't feel a certain way.
Right, but it's something that you suspect, right?
Right.
And it can be based on your person's history, right?
Or your own history.
Correct.
Maybe I've been cheated on, and I just think you look like that nigga. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Your mannerism is the same. When I got cheated on, he said that same shit. I don't know, but whatever the case, you're right. It could be maybe I'm a cheater.
Yes.
But people do project.
They do.
A lot of cheaters will accuse somebody of cheating.
They project all the time. People project all the time.
Gina, please hug your friend for this.
He's really.
But how do you address it, Kevin? That's all I'm saying.
Is all I have to say.
Whatever. How do you address it without sounding accusatory?
So what happens is, remember, right. So first of all, if I was
take a time out.
No,
if I was going to address it, I'm going to have a role play amongst me. Right? I'm going to talk it out first so that it would make sense to me. So I won't go half-cocked, right? Because again, it's how you present it to somebody is you don't know how their response is going to be, because if I know I'm dedicated to you and you accuse me of this, we got a problem.
Right.
And if you don't have substantial evidence or something, then I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Where is you coming from? And then that's where you come in, Kris, when you said, is it something that you're doing and you're projecting it on me? Then when you do get ready to present it, hey, babe, I want to ask you a question. Do you find that you get flirted with a lot? Because I'm attracted to you. And I've seen when we went out that women do the little sideways look at you. You know what I'm saying? So I know that women are, and hey, part of my attraction to you is that I know other women are attracted to you.
Right.
Babe, is it anybody who may be coming at you that I need to be aware of, just in general?
And that's exactly what I was asking. Because even when it was flipped, right? Whether it's my wife or somebody else, I tend to be friendly with people I've been knowing a long time, but everybody don't always have the best intentions. And it took me a while where I started having to check other people first. Like, you can't speak to me unless you speak, to my girlfriend or my wife. Right. Don't even do that. Shit make me look bad. I'm already under motherfucking suspicion. I'll tell them, I'll make it a joke, but I will say, and you got to speak to her too. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And, and I think that's fair. If someone says, I didn't like, not even accusing me, but just saying the way they act, that person. Okay.
Yeah, you need to definitely.
And it might be some truth to it. You can't always assume just because you're on the up and up that everybody else is. Right. And that's where I say that. And that is one of the things I bounce things off women I know. And they'll say, well, yeah, that's possible. And what did she do? Yeah, she didn't speak? Yeah, she's supposed to go out of her way to speak. That women will give you what normally happens, doesn't mean anything, but it is enough for you to say, all right, if I want to protect this, I'm concerned about my guy or my gal's safety, emotional safety, I should take some action. Why am I protecting somebody who could be flirting over this?
Right.
If I don't, then that's looks weird on me.
Well, but I think it's bad form, even if you're just like, if you and I were hanging out, right? And some dude just basically moved you to the side to say hi to me. He doesn't know.
I'm like, hold on, nigga, that could be my other wife.
I mean, but you don't know what the situation is. Like, how did, it's bad form to just kind of approach people that are
that's an asshole. That is a clear-cut a-hole. Would anybody do that?
Without addressing both people, at that point. Like, irrespective of the relationship.
Right. When I was younger, I knew women like that.
Somebody with no training.
But, yeah, if you're seeing somebody doing that and you're over 35, they're a piece of nothing.
Yeah,
and let me throw this caveat out, too. So imagine, Kris, you went your wife made the request, and you was like, because you're my wife, like your statement on Facebook, and you went to Gina like, Gina, I'm going to have to stop being friends with you. For me, you were never her friend. And let me explain why. Because the moment I got to tell my good friend that I'm going to end my friendship with you based on my partner's insecurity.
Right.
then I don't take into account how that's going to destroy her. Gina just said, my male friends uplift me. So if the man who I thought was one of the people who uplifted me, treated me queen-like, loved me and honored me, told me that my friendship of 20 years meant nothing because somebody said, stop it, without me time to defend myself, meet with your wife or whatever, then you was not really my friend, because then that means I was disposable.
Oh, I agree with that.
Okay, the only caveat is...
I don't think there is a caveat. I think that was perfect.
That is perfect, but the only caveat of the situation would be if the me in the situation was not particularly respectful to the relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But what he's saying is...
But if it's all 100% respectful...
That's what he was saying.
Okay.
And it would be hurtful to you, but what I was going to add, it would also make me look like a chump. And, you know how I am.
You're like,
I have full disclosure, whether it's my wife or women before.
Mm-hmm.
I've X'd out a lot of women because they wasn't on shit. I know the difference between an ain't on shit person. So I've been the dude that ain't on shit. I get it.
Do you see what I go through?
Oh, I'm being honest.
Every Tuesday.
But if it's nothing going on, if y'all think
every Tuesday,
y'all know my wife this tall, you know how little people are. You let them smack you around, they gonna smack you forever. I love you, baby.
Your wife has a big personality.
I know you, baby. But no, she wouldn't like that motherfucker must have been on something. He just broke down like a bitch. I'm like, no, if you're not doing anything, man or woman, I think you should speak up for it. And if you have a true relationship where your contentment is as important as his mind, then that other person will give it its due diligence. And especially, most people outside of trauma, which I think we all have a little bit, you got to know your feelings aren't always right. They're a good indicator. But, I've been scared walking down the street when I shouldn't have been scared. But my feelings were there to warn me. Right. It looked and felt scary, but they're not always right. And through, that's when you have to, now granted, if my wife or girlfriend or whomever saw millions of instances where they look like smoke, well, then you got to look at that person like, why is it always smoke around that sneaky motherfucker? Right?
That's fair.
But that's fair. But what he was saying was specifically is if you know you haven't done anything.
Right. Nothing's wrong.
And they haven't done anything. And in the past you have a good track record. If it's healthy, then you should be able to come to it. And I get that.
If it's healthy, yes.
And it wasn't until the beginning of the show when he said, if you end it solely, that was key. I got caught up on the word partner, meaning is that a girlfriend but he was caught up on the word solely, and no, that shouldn't be the only reason.
Wait, Aaron Foster has a comment that I'm reading.
Shout out to the noobs, yo.
He says, bad advice. Your wife's feelings overwrite your ego. If she's insecure, you chose her. Your friend, quote unquote, will understand, or she was never your friend.
I think he's wrong. I'm going to answer this from Brother Scott. Brother Scott, tell me if I'm right. Aaron, first off, if you're coming through tonight, Nuke, let's have a cocktail. But outside of that, what he was saying is if nothing has transpired and you're just allowing their false claim to control you, that ain't even good for your relationship.
Not at all.
It ain't good for you. It ain't good for your friendship. It ain't even good for them.
All right.
No.
Because now they're being guided in life by false feeling. So it's good for nobody.
You're just reinforcing.
Absolutely. It's like, you're feeding something that's horrible. So,
And I got a cousin who looks like Halle Berry. I guess she can't come over to the house. Then.
Right.
It's going to
hook it up with your cousin.
What I'm saying? And what happens is when I hear people answer that question like that, then immediately as a behaviorist, they've done something wrong in the past.
Yep, he's similar to me. He probably done some shit. No. Just playing with you, Nuke. Hey, man, I've been trying to get Aaron. He's a smart, one of the smartest brothers I know. He gives so much opinion. He'll talk about it, and then he'll be like, nah, they don't want me on the show. But yes, we do.
All right, we need to wrap up with
well, you give a last question, close. I'll get a final thought from Khalid. This has been great.
Yeah, this has been awesome.
And I knew this wouldn't be one of those where I know little about this to be.
Okay, well, If you had to give couples one takeaway on this topic, what would it be?
Always honor your relationship, but always honor yourself first. Remember, the most powerful love you have is your own love for you first. Because if you have the ultimate agape love for you, you will not tolerate, allow, and disseminate bad love. Meaning, I will not have friends who will disrespect my spouse, my mate, my friend, my woman, my man, whatever.
Right.
Because the love you have and what you wouldn't tolerate and the bar that you have set for yourself. Second of all, check your securities at the door. If you are insecure about that person, go to the 30th floor of the Daily Center and end it.
He's like, kill yourself.
Kill yourself.
Because then you'll be fighting. I know 39 couples divorcing. Hear that, Kris?
39?
39.
We talked about this last time.
God.
It was some crazy number. That was just, we talked about that.
Actually, I know 2 people personally going through it now.
I know a few.
And when I talked to those couples, they said, Khalid, this has been ongoing for years, but I stayed because the youngest kid is now 18 and going to college. Now I'm divorcing this person.
Oh, yeah, I know people who've done that.
So if you're dealing with dysfunction and you haven't handled it, then do yourself a favor and say, I want joy and happiness for the remainder of my days. Because I can't live in a house, I can't thrive and live with a person who is mistrustful, always seeing wrong, so pessimistic. How is that a healthy relationship? And also, my female friends, again, advocate for the woman I'm with. They tell me when I'm wrong. And vice versa, I tell them, you're
wrong anyway. If it's coming from a woman. No, I'm joking, ladies. I'm joking. No, that's awesome advice, brother. I just want to make one question. Truthfully, Tamara, thank you for the question. She says, if they were previously lovers, then that's a no. Truthfully, Tamara, I'm like you. I'm not all the way emotionally intelligent and grown up yet. I'm like, fuck no. But that's me. But we had if you enter. You get all your rules and boundaries down ahead of time. I think Brian Foster, shout out to In the Zone, by the way. They come on Wednesday. What time they come on?
Right, they come on 7.
That's an awesome show, people.
Yeah.
They have a variety of topics. But truthfully, tomorrow, if that's your thing, let's state it up front. Nobody likes a surprise. And different couples function differently. Different people handle finances differently. These are the types of things that, as Khalid said, you did. Anybody you've ever dated, you stated up front, and you haven't had a problem. I think I'm starting to think they should send all men through therapy school. If all men operated like that, I'm serious, bro. Yeah. I give women a hard time because I think they mismanaged some of their new freedoms, but I get it. Y'all just got them. But men, truthfully, have been very dumb since the beginning of time. And I don't like women acting like men because men do dumb shit. Right. It is what it is.
Right. And Kris, understand this: the men that sit in front of me at the VA and in private practice, they're broken.
Yep.
So the brokenness affects the women who love them.
Absolutely.
Children, and it affects the community. So my pledge and my platform is helping to heal men.
That's awesome.
I get the king strong and wearing that crown right, everything will fall in line.
If they listen to the queen. No, I'm just messing with everybody.
Lord. All right.
That's all we got. Look, if you like the show, leave a question. Like I said, that was some great information, Brother Scott. Thank you. Man, this was awesome. Folks, if you like the show, check out Khalid Scott's page. He's always got some inspiration.
Drops his gems.
Him and DeJuan Russell, dare I say this, both members of the same fraternity. Some of the most uplifting dudes that I've come across.
Fair.
But if you come across his page, send him a friend request, go get some therapy, fix yourself. Turn it on. Shout out to my cousin Chuck. See you. If you check out the Kris Gina show, if you like it, subscribe. Check out our YouTube. I think it's under Kris the Critic. I don't know how to change the name. You're a young person, good at social media. Holler at me. But on Facebook, we're in the Kris and Gina Relationship Show. Follow us, share the post. Tune in next week. It'll be something salacious, I promise. And Khalid Scott, again, thank you, brother. You always call you on the way home from my free therapy session. Anyway, thanks a lot, man. Shout out to our producer, Rod. Gina B is always the better part of this show. Y'all tolerate. I know y'all come here. Y'all come here to see Gina. But anyway, thank you all for joining the show. Appreciate everybody. Peace and love.